let's touch on a couple of other things. As the former, not only member of the City Council, former president of the City Council, you have said in the past that you're, I want to use the right word, and the right word that you said was, I think it's, to be honest, I think it is, the credibility has been hurt on every issue because of what has happened inside the City Council. In fact, you recently endorsed an opponent of Ricardo Arroyo in District 5. Arroyo admitted to a conflict of interest violation earlier this summer. Are you sending a message with your not endorsement of Arroyo?
The Boston City Council is such an important institution for the residents of the city. Having spent 8 years of my life and career there, I treasure that institution. It is the most direct form of representation in terms of getting your voice heard and having that direct relationship with your elected representative. I think the headlines have been unfortunate, and it has been distracting from so many issues that are urgent for residents. I am not only an elected leader myself, but a resident and a voter in Boston.
Sure.
And so I live in District 5. I've shared that I'm very excited to vote for Enrique Pepin, who is someone who's familiar with City Hall, has worked as our Director of Neighborhood Services, knows how to get things done, and also brings a determination and knowledge from growing up in the city, raising his family here.
The council, is it fair to, it's been called a clown show. A lot of the errors are unforced errors.
Yeah, I think, you know, no one is perfect, and all of us come to these roles understanding that there's very high standards and that we also are real human beings that have other challenges in our lives, but there has to be a way to come together with your colleagues, focus on the work that residents need, and get things done. And I think that's what I am excited about. Some of the people running in this cycle, I've supported Henry Santana for City Council at Large, Enrique Pepin. These are leaders who come with fresh perspective, vision, a real ability to bring people together, and the know-how. In
the case of Kendra Lara, you have taken a let the voters decide position rather than call for a resignation. Why is that?
We have seen in the past, for example, when there even have been legal issues with certain city council members, the courts have weighed in and said, in fact, the council, it's very, very, it has to be at the point of a conviction of, you know, the seriousness of overriding the public will and having the council sort of expel a member. That bar is extremely high because these are elected offices and the highest accountability is for the voters. Every 2 years, the entire city council is up for re-election. Every 4 years, the mayor is also up for re-election. And so now's the moment for everyone to assess the totality of that representation, what they hope gets done in the next term, and weigh in.
You've got a tough job. The job is not getting easier. It's not just a Monday through Friday 9 to 5. It's 168 hours a week, 7 days. So is it what you signed up for? Are you still loving it?
It's a joy and a privilege, and even in the moments when I hate it, I actually love it. Right? I don't know. Maybe that's just something about me. I love trying to tackle hard problems. I love trying to find a way where we can just move forward a little bit, and that's what's special about city government. There are amazing people doing this work every day. There's always a way to make things better, and we just have to try to move as fast as we can while bringing everyone into the conversation.
We started off talking about MassandCast, and this will be the last question. You've tried before, it's been tried before to pull all the tents off of MassandCast and get them out of there. They came back. Pull them off. They came back. What, are you confident they won't come back?
It is, I think, in a situation this complex with so many different layers and so much that's outside of the control of any one small city, there will be some steps forward, steps back, and steps forward again. I am confident that we are overall moving forward in a really significant way. And even though the initial kind of shift from hundreds of tents over a very large area was cleared all the way down because everyone found housing, and then tents have popped back up. It is a very different nature than it was back then when everyone had been living there for years. The number of people actually living on the street these days is relatively very, very small, in the range of 20 to 30 people, because we have an effective system that's been built up over a year and a half, places to refer people to, housing that works. We have had, of the original 145 people who were at MassandCast when I first came into office, now 149 people have moved all the way into permanent housing. We've served 500 people through that system overall, thousands more referred to treatment. And so we are getting there, but this is a big move that will boost the public safety of it and move into a different phase.
Well, our thanks to the mayor. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in.